And I want to teach you, and I want to talk about one thing, and that one thing is what we call as levels of organization in the life. That actually explain you that how the living and the non-living systems are connected with each other. The living and the non-living system are connected with each other. That picture defines you. It's all about the material. You know, जितना हम philosophically grow करते जाते हैं knowledge के हवाले से, our definitions started also evolved with the period of time. Living things, non-living things. Then it was about matter, that everything is made up of matter, whether they are living, whether they are non-living. And the difference between living and the non-living is just about the arrangement of the atoms and molecules. That's all. Then it's about space, it's about time. So in the greater context, in the bigger picture, in the context of the universe, it's all about having space-time. It's all about having matter and the dark matter and the waves between them. So that's all what we know about the universe. So at atomic level, the living and the non-living system is made up of the same things. They are made up of from the same atoms and molecules. कभी कभी मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि कुदरत ने जिन चीजों को लिविंग सिस्टम बनाने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं किया, the materials and the atoms and molecules which are excluded to create living systems, the exclusion of those molecules is also an arrangement, is also an organization. For example, arsenic is not there in the living system. So keeping the arsenic out of the living system is an organization. Arsenic को उर्दू में कहते हैं संख्या, ये हिंदी वाला नहीं है ये. And if an arsenic is able to interact with the living system, it can block the metabolic pathway. It can block the metabolic pathway. What that means? It can kill and destroy the synchronous balance between metabolic chemical reactions. It can kill the life. It's a poison. So keeping that arsenic out of the living system is also an organization, is also related to life. So anything which is part of the living thing, we assume that is the living thing, that is important. But anything which is not part of the living thing is equally important, that it should stay away from the living things as well. So जो चीज जिसकी जरूरत नहीं है, which is not the part of the living thing, is also equally important. Now imagine what human activity, when humans are doing right now. What humans are doing, humans are putting those unwanted materials which are not supposed to be part of the living things. Due to their activity, those materials are now entering into the life or the living things. They are entering into living materials. And that actually changes the version of life we know. For example, a gas is supposed to be, or a carbon molecule is supposed to be part of some mines. We extracted those material from those mines. We created gas, different types of gases or molecules out of it. We use those gases and molecules to create plastic bags. And we started using plastic bags. Now, those chemicals which are present in the plastic bags are supposed to be present in the mines, away from the living things in a different form. But we took from there and we bring it right into the middle of our lives. It's almost part of our lives, interacting very closely with the living things, and the parts and components of those materials are now entering into our living things. It's not about entering into my living body. It's not only about this. It's about, it might be their decomposed versions might be part of the bacteria, might be part of the other small insects, and from there it actually enters into the living system. So the life form we know at this moment is haunted by the materials which are not supposed to be part of the living system. But with the help of human activity, we allow all those things and materials to be part of ourselves. And that's not nice. That's not. As long as this picture is concerned, this is a very, I must say, a greater game, a bigger picture of life. I'm sure you guys will be able to understand this thing better than me. So this is like a bigger version. Everything starts from here. And atoms. Actually, अगर आप ज़्यादा साइंसदान बने तो you can actually go deeper into the atoms as well. Aha, Dr. मुस्तफा से पढ़ने के नुकसानात. You can travel in 2 dimensions in order to search or in order to discover. One of the direction is going away from you. Is like looking around you, looking at the stars, looking far away, even far away to the other planets, the other galaxies. It's like going far, whatever outside. This is one direction. The other direction of generating knowledge is to go inside. I mean, that's very weird. Is to travel inside. What is your structure? How it is made up of atoms? Then dig deeper into the atoms. Then to see the nucleus. Then to see the components of nucleus, the forces within the nucleus, and you will see an infinite journey of information away from you and inside of you. And we are making wonderful discoveries in both of those 2 fronts. So in the Kafiya philosophy, so the atoms, that is how it starts. They join with each other. So different types of atoms, for example, in case, if you can remember, in case of water, an oxygen molecule is attached with 2 hydrogen atoms. Similar or different atoms connect with each other to make molecules. These molecules then going to create life, or more easily is create the cells, the structural and functional unit of life. And between these 2 things, I have explained you that this is about the chemical reaction. The A is converting into B, the B is converting into C, the C is converted into D and E, and the story continues. There are a lot of things which are required to execute these chemical reactions. And there is a balance between all those chemical reactions out there, and that's what we call as the living thing or the life.
Molecule वर्ड समझा दो सर. Molecule वर्ड समझा दो. Molecule.
Everything is made up of one or different types of atoms. Okay, there are 92 elements naturally present on the planet Earth. Actually, we have tried to discover new elements on the other planets and on the other stars as well, and we failed. We always found these 92 elements means these 92 different types of atoms. When I said different types of atoms, they will be different. Like hydrogen is different from oxygen. When these atoms join with each other, they create molecules like water. Water is made up of 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. A simplified example of a molecule. And these molecules execute chemical reactions. And what I told you on the other day, that the balance between all those chemical reactions is what we call as the life. So they made the cells, the next level of different types of. So now we have cells, multiple cells. If a cell is, organism is multicellular, we might have different types of cells. This is a one type of cells. This is another type of cells. So a similar type of cells work together. Similar sorts of cells work together, and they are called as tissues. We are made up of tissues. That means in each tissue, a similar cells work together to execute one function. And we are made up of large number of different types of tissues. But that means we have different type of tissues, and each tissue is made up of similar sort of cells. But one tissue is different from the other. And you can see our skin is different because it is made up of different tissue. Our blood is different because it is made up of different type of tissue. Then different tissues merge together to make organs. For example, the stomach, if I able to create the stomach well, the stomach is made up of different type of tissues. There is one type of tissue 1, there is another type of tissue 2, which is responsible for the contraction. So different type of tissues are present in stomach. When different tissues work together, they create organ. And different organs join with each other, they make organ system, or what we call as the body systems, like respiratory system, like digestive system, mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestine, different organs, they connect together, they make body systems. And all these body systems, when work in sync, they create organisms. When similar sort of organisms live together, they make population. When different populations stay together, they create community. When community, living and the non-living things, they live together, they exist together, it is called as ecosystem.